Clint Hill spent 4 years protecting First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy. The Secret Service man was by her side during the beginning of JFK's presidency, the birth of her children, and the darker days after the president's assassination. Our own Becky Anderson sat down with Hill and his co-author, Lisa McCubbin, as they recall the memories of those days in their book, Mrs. Kennedy and Me, an Intimate Memoir.
Welcome to Authors Revealed. I'm Becky Anderson. We are so excited. We have author Lisa McCubbin and Clint Hill, who was special agent assigned to Jacqueline Kennedy when she was First Lady of the United States from 1960 to 1964. And the book is called Mrs. Kennedy and Me.
When I first met her, the Friday following the election in 1960, November 11th, she came into the room. I didn't want to be there, first of all. Right. And she really didn't want me to be there either because she didn't want anybody looking over her shoulder 24 hours a day. And it was obvious to me that she was somewhat shy. But it was obvious also that she had a mind of her own, and she was going to want to do the things that she wanted to do. Yeah. And so the relationship was rather strained to begin with. Sure. But it became close and closer as we grew to know each other.
Yeah. Some of the really wonderful times that you experienced.
Well, the most wonderful times probably were watching she and the children and her husband being together, whether it was in Hyannisport or Palm Beach or out in Middleburg. But there were a lot of fun times when it was just she and I and some friends. The president wasn't there, like in Pakistan when she was going to got on a camel and insisted on the camel getting up, and then wanted the reins, wanted control, she actually wanted the camel to run. Fortunately, the camel driver didn't let go and it wasn't able to run. But there were just moments like that that just showed her the way she was, that she just wanted to have a good time and enjoy life.
Right. The whole tragic incident on November 22nd, 1963, I know it's still difficult for you to talk to, but did you feel that day that there was anything unusual when the day began or during the course of the motorcade?
Nothing at all. We had no indication of anything.
And none of your fellow agents felt that there was anything?
No, not at all. We didn't think there was anything different that day than any other day.
Yeah. You jumped onto the back of the car. The biggest misconception of what happened that day was her crawling onto the back of the car, but I don't think people really know the reason why.
Right. They don't realize what she was coming out of the back of the car for was to retrieve material that had come off the president's head when he'd been shot. And that's the only reason she was back there. Right. She didn't even know I was there. Right. It wasn't for an attempt to get out of the situation. Sure. She was simply there to try to retrieve material.
And some people think she was trying to help Clint get on the back of the car, but she was in such shock, like you said.
I can't imagine.
She didn't even look at him. Right. She didn't remember him being there.
Yeah. Wow, that was a piece of history. Talking with Lisa McCubbin and Clint Hill about their new book, Mrs. Kennedy and Me. Back to you, Jen.
Thanks, Becky. If you're interested in the full interview about Mrs. Kennedy and Me, an Intimate Memoir, visit our website at nctv17.com for a list of air times.